like you, Baton Rouge is my hometown. I'm still stunned. I'm still thinking this is a dream we're going to wake up from. Not going to happen, right?
It's not going to happen. But good morning to you all. How are you?
We're good.
Excellent, Dr. Bill. Thank you for checking in with us once again.
And no problem. Obviously, we got a problem in our society, right? There's another cop killed in Kansas City last night. And it's unknown if it's related to Dallas or to Baton Rouge. But clearly, our state and our country has got to, one, support law enforcement, support them big time, but two, try and stop this epidemic from going forward. That's our challenge, and that's what we have to talk about, and that's what we have to focus on.
Senator, the president said the other night after this happened, we must and we can do better. I'm not sure I understand what he means by that. Does he mean police officers can do better? What does he mean?
He probably means yes, knowing the president. I would say that what we first need to start doing better is no one says something negative about the police. You may have a beef with the police. Don't say it. Hold it. There's going to be someone who is unbalanced, and that kind of negative comment will flip them off, like a top spinning. And if you bump it a little bit, all of a sudden it falls. I saw that. I think it was Ice Cube said something like "F the police." Don't do it. There are people out there who just need that sort of thing to kind of trigger a negative, a terrible, a tragic reaction.
I know you're passionate about this, and we had the police union president tell us this earlier in the week, that part of our problem is that we have completely abandoned those who have mental health needs. There's no place for him to bring them as a police officer. They have no options anymore, so they're just wandering around. He actually used the term, these are wingnuts who we have no place for them. I know that bothers you.
A couple of things. First, the Dallas guy, the Dallas shooter, was clearly mentally ill. There's a CNN report out today that Gavin Long, the shooter in Baton Rouge, had PTSD. And you keep on wondering about this guy. In the Marines, got a commendation for good conduct, was an IT specialist, went to the University of Alabama, and for a semester there was on the dean's list. And now he's kind of rambling on the internet, joining crazy groups, almost like a joke. Something happened to the fellow in between. We don't know, but that's what we have to find out. On the other hand, there's a detective I called in Shreveport, a guy I have a great respect for, happens to be African-American, but that's just all secondary. And he just said, listen, in his experience, someone who does this sort of thing typically has mental illness. So it's one of the things we have to go after. Obviously, I'm supporting legislation in the U.S. Senate trying to reorganize how the federal government spends its money on mental illness. But that's one of the things we can do that in the intermediate and long term can begin to address this issue.
Dr. Bill, let's change direction here for a couple of seconds. Republican convention. Thoughts so far? How's about last night? I thought Donald Trump Jr. did a pretty good job talking about his pop.
Yeah, he did. I mean, obviously, part of the thing, by the way, I skipped the convention when things happen here. I'm going to a funeral, I think, Friday, Saturday, and Monday, and visiting with families otherwise. So I'm watching on TV like most other folks. And I think Donald Jr. even impressed some of the commentators on the TV. And we got to humanize Donald if people are going to think he's just not, his persona. I've met with the guy before, and he's very gracious when you meet with him and very warm. A little bit different than, again, his public persona. So I think Donald Jr. headed that way. When
Donald Trump makes his acceptance speech on Thursday, when he accepts the nomination of the Republican Party and gives his speech on Thursday, not only what are you looking to hear, but what do you think he has to say to sort of reach that, what the analysts, what the experts call that 20% in the middle?
So it's going to be women in about 7 or 9 swing states that determine the election. And so really we should be talking to Erin. Because in a sense, I'm about the economy. The economy over the last 8 years has been terrible. I'm about national security. The national security over the last 8 years has degenerated, deteriorated. Jimmy Carter saying he can't think of a country now who we're in better shape with than when we started 8 years ago. That's Jimmy Carter saying that. And so I look at these indicators and think they're awful. Hillary's going to double down. I'm thinking she's going to double down on awful. But on the other hand, clearly Donald Trump can be offensive the way he speaks. he has to reassure people that if he's in charge of the football, with all the nuclear codes, that if somebody launches at us or somebody angers us, that he's handling that well. And by the way, people at Barksdale know all about this. Then he's got to be trusted. And I think he's got to hit that, showing that, yes, I'm passionate, yes, I'm going to go after our enemies, but I can be trusted with that nuclear football.
How excited are you? I'm already planning to get my popcorn for the debates. These are going to be awesome. Do you feel that way too?
Well, it's going to be kind of like a tale of two cities, because you can imagine Hillary is going to be, well, Hillary. Very exciting.
And Trump is going to be Trump.
And Trump is going to be Trump. So you're going to maybe you're going to TiVo it.
Oh, absolutely. Senator, I know you're having another few couple of tough days. Please pass along to all of our friends and leaders in Baton Rouge our thoughts and prayers from the entire Shreveport community, please.
We'll do, Erin. Thank you all for allowing me on this morning.